Hi guys, and welcome to my YouTube channel. If you watched my last video, you know that I've been away. I went to Gibraltar, so I live in southern Spain, but I drove up to Gibraltar because every holiday I booked kept getting cancelled, so I gave up on that idea. I've been back now. I came back on the weekend. It's now Wednesday, the 26th Wednesday, and yesterday I didn't really have any time to trade, or Monday, so what I did is I cleared my charts last night. I've got a few hours today, so I'm just going to reset up my charts ready for what's happening. I didn't even look at the charts. I think I took one trade on Monday whilst I was away, or the Tuesday. I think it might have been Tuesday actually. And I literally just took one euro dollar trade in and out, and since then I actually haven't opened the charts. I know a lot of traders actually trade whilst on holiday and things like that, but to be honest with you, because I've been trading so hard for the last 4 months, I thought just step away from the charts for a whole week, don't even look at them, and that's what I did. And I'm ready to get back into it. I've missed it a lot, so I'm ready to get back into it now. So that's why I said I cleared the charts now, so none of my charts are drawn on at all. So you'll see that none of them have any drawings. And I just thought that what I'll do is, because I need to do a video of something, I thought I would just do a video of me actually lining up my charts with the areas that I find interesting. So the first thing you need to do, I'm just going to pick out these 5 random ones really, so mainly the majors, and I thought about CAD yen in there, just so you guys don't think that I've pre-done anything, because I haven't. So the first thing you really want to do before you even start trading is actually know what sort of time frames you wish to trade. So I actually used to trade the daily when I first started out. So I used to draw my areas on the daily and then look at the 4 hour for trade opportunities. Now I literally only use the 1 hour. Okay, I use a 1 hour normally for my areas, and then a 30-minute or 15 minutes for actually executing the trades. So that's what I say was the first thing you need to do is first find out which time frame you wish to use. The daily, 4 hour, 1 hour. You can use the 2 hour, 3 hours if you've got a premium version of TradingView. You can add as many hours as you want. I'm not sure on the free version if that's a possibility, but yeah, you can change the hours to whatever you want it to be. But I usually just use a standard one. I used to have weekly, and I guess weekly does very rarely, but it does sometimes come in handy. Well, as you can see here now, you've got a very good area here of structure, which is rejected before and also was previous support over here, and currently on euro dollar is actually rejecting from it now with multiple wick rejections on the weekly. But because I'm trading the 1 hour, that doesn't really matter to me. So all I want to do really is locate areas in which I expect the markets to be of interest. So you'll know most of my videos are literally just solid blue lines, and then blue lines are literally drawn from myself, looking for areas of interest basically. So the first area that I would actually class as interesting will be this area here. As you can see here, we had a very strong bearish candle right here. This was a perfect sell opportunity. Created a double top, still unable to break it, and we had a drop here. You can see that it did actually break it around here, but it looks more like a fake breakout because it was only outside of it for what, 1 hour, and then the next hour just pushed right back into that area. You can see here then it actually was used as support rather than the previous resistance over here. You can see it was another resistance area right here as well. So this area is very good, the 118.840. So I'm just waiting to see what price does, if it does come to this area. But you also need to have little minor areas as well to see where price is going to go for. So as you can see, we had our high. We then had a this is always the bit that confuses me, is the lower high, I think. So we had a high, we had a low, we had a lower high, a lower low, yeah, or was it a high? No. So we've got our high, we've got our low, we've got our higher low, lower low. I can't even remember at all right now which way it works out. So you got your high, you got your low, high, low, lower low, higher low, lower low. But you can see that it was unable to break these previous highs, so we're actually changing our trend direction. As you can see now, the trend is actually very bearish. But anyway, we've got our high here, price has unable to break this high. You can see a massive bearish candle here. I missed out on this trade on the 19th. I would have sold on this candle because of the bearish momentum, and I probably would have got out around this area here just because of this structure around this area. We then came back up with a nice pullback, and again we rejected from this structure that we drew using looking left from over here, and now we've pushed down again. We then pulled to another pullback, which could have been this little area of resistance or support here. This previous structure, as you can see, we've also had more rejections over here, so that sort of lined up quite well there. I wouldn't have really looked at selling here now though, and we've pushed down again. We're now coming back up to this area. As you can see, it's unable to break, so we have got multiple wick rejections from this previous structure here. So we've got 1, 2, 3, 4 rejections. I'm not looking to sell this now because it's sort of moving sideways. As you can see now, it's moving sideways, so I don't know yet where the price will be going. I will probably be more looking for another sell opportunity from the 118 area. If we can get another push up here, I will then be looking for another sell opportunity. If, for example, we break this structure here with a bearish momentum, I will then be looking for a sell. So I won't be actually trading euro dollar until it breaks one of these lines, or at least comes to it and shows some sort of candle, you know, some sort of price action that tells me that there's a possibility of a sell. So what we want to see is price now here. We want to see price come down here and break for another sell. Because we're on a downtrend, I'm not looking for any buys opportunity, so we're looking for something like this if we can, or I want to see price come up to here and show some form of rejection to possibly sell the euro dollar. The main reason I would not look at buying this pair whatsoever. I think it's going to struggle to break any higher, especially with all the news and everything else to go with it. You can see that here we had a high, but the RSI has actually created a low, so we've got a nice little bit of divergence here. And as you can see, there's a lot of downward movement available here on the euro dollar, so I would actually be looking only for sells. Okay guys, I would never ever take a long in this scenario. Okay, so that's my euro dollar. We're going to the pound now. So the pound is a little bit more complicated. Obviously you can see the highest point, which is here, and again we're wanting price to really come up to here, and then it'd be a nice little sell opportunity, or again I'd be looking for a sell opportunity if price breaks this area. For example, if price comes down to here though and shows a nice bearish momentum, there is a possibility of actually taking the trade back up to the 132.530 area. Although this pair is, we can see on the 4 hour, we've got this major structure here actually on the 4 hour that I would draw in. So if I just go back now, so you can see that these three lines are all our support and resistance areas. We are in a downtrend again. We could possibly take a sell from here back down to this major support. However, for me, that's a little bit of a risky trade to take. We do have multiple rejections, but you can see that the bulls still have a little bit of strength left. So what we want to see is a price to break the 13600 and possibly retest that area and look for a sell from there. If it breaks, we'd be looking for a sell from the 132.530 area. But as you can see, you know where I'm drawing. So I actually use this second line on the 4 hour. So you can obviously change your time frames if you have to. So if it's messy like this, moving sideways a lot, I would normally change the time frame, because obviously the candles are bunched up a little bit better and closed together rather than individually. So it's easier to actually find an area that's, you know, good for structure. So you can see multiple wicks there. The only thing about this area is, although it's been very good for resistance, I haven't actually seen it very good for support. I guess you've got the area here. If we go down to the 1 hour, I guess we've got the support here, but mostly it has been used as resistance. So I'm gonna leave it there just to see what price does now at this area, but I won't be looking at trades on this. I'll be looking for a sell from 132.500 or another sell if it breaks the 13600. Again, if we go to the daily, we'll see that there's a lot of downward movement available here. It's not quite at its very high. It's not quite at its highs from before. So you could say, what, 134, 133, 500 would be the. So it's got another 100 pips move upwards if it needs to, before it gets to them previous daily highs. So yeah, I'll be looking for a sell either from this area or wait for the break and retest of this area. This middle line I'm just using just to see what sort of happens. I guess if we go into the 15 minute, you can see we've got a nice little double top here. Okay, we're at the top, we're going to break lower, then create another one, and we've also got RSI divergence. We've got that bearish momentum candle here, so there is a possibility for a sell here, and there's a little bit of movement down if you really want to. There's probably, what, 100 pip move here, I think. About 100, let me just check that in there. An 80 pip move here. So there is great potential for a sell, but for me, yeah, I'm not ready to really trade this just yet. I think it's going to break this a little bit more. If I can see strong bearish momentum and showing that the bears are present, there is a little, maybe a 30-40 pip scalp trade in this, just down to this previous structure, and then we'll have to wait and see what happens again when it gets down to here. USD CAD. Let me just zoom out a little bit, it's always easier. So you can see again, you can see the major structure. So you always want to use the previous data rather than using too much to the left. But as you can see, this area was used here as support, here as support, here as resistance, here as resistance, 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 resistance. So it's very good area here on dollar CAD, and we've got our low right here, so our supports. We've got our resistance, we've got our support. We have to wait. For me, for my trading plan, I sort of wait for the bigger trades. I wait for the candles to come within one of these areas, and then using the lower time frame, either 30 or 15 minute, look for triple top formations, double top formations, bearish wicks like this, so bearish engulfing candles like this. Red one's perfect. I've got a look. I like these doji candles as well, the indecision candles. You've got 1 and 2, so you could take a sell here or a sell here for me. And I also have my trend trading strategy where I literally just follow the trend, every engulfing candle here, as long as I've got 2 candles or more up. If I got that engulfing candle, I'll look for a sell opportunity. I'm not actually going to take the trade right now. I believe we've got quite a lot of news. Is it this week or next week? I think we've got more news next week. We've got news today from the Fed, and we've got next week is even more insane, I think, for red news. So a lot of pound news and dollar, Aussie dollar. So a lot of news next week, and I like the news. It does help my trade out a lot. So we've got the dollar yen now. We'll move on to. So I just missed out on this trade by the looks of it. If I go down to the 1 hour. So on my last video, you might remember that I said we'll look for a sell from this area, and I missed it, which was really annoying because it was such a perfect setup. I drew this structure. If you look at one of my previous videos, and I said sell here. I literally, when I was on holiday, looked at my phone, and it was literally down here, and I was like, oh, that's incredibly annoying. Could have gotten a sell here as well on this engulfing down to the very lows. Obviously, you would have been looking left, so it would have got out around here, but there would have been a nice 20-30 pip trade there. Either way, we're still on a very strong downtrend in my opinion until it breaks this structure here. Well, this area here, I would still class us as a downtrend. So a lot of people will say, well, we've got the highs here, that's been broken, so we're not in an uptrend now. Yes, you can say that. It completely depends on your own trading style. So you can see that there is a nice level of structure here looking left as well. You can see that we've got support, and at the moment it's now being used as resistance. You can see that the bulls currently on the dollar yen has a lot of power to go long. You can see this massive wick and now this engulfing bullish candle up. I would really be looking for maybe a triple top formation here to sell from the 106,500 area. If we can get a triple top, it'd be a very nice little trade to sell from, not to buy. and then obviously you don't really like drawing too many lines, but as you can see, we've got an area here as well around here, so it's quite a broad area, but you've got support here, a little bit of resistance here, looking left, another bit of support and a little bit more of resistance. So there's a nice little area here as well. I wouldn't normally draw more than 3 areas to be of interest for me. So that's a dollar-yen. Trying to do this as quick as possible. Aussie dollar, we're actually coming to a nice little area structure right now here. So you can see that this is the last low, the swing low. It came back up, retested, come back up again and retested. So what we want to see now is if we can still see a little bit of bullish, bearish strength here, we'll look for a sell down. And I'll be looking for maybe trying to hit these previous wicks here around this structure here. I'll be looking to maybe try and get a sell opportunity today on this for what, 30 pips, 35 pips, something like that, which is very nice for me. I can only make around 2% off a 30 pip trade. So if this candle keeps moving the way it is and actually engulfs this previous one, it might be worth trying to take a sell down here to this structure. Let me just check the high time frame for a second. It's very nice area here. As you can see, the structure is very strong, and you can see here that this is pretty much flat, but the RSI is actually creating lows, so we've got a little bit of minor divergence here as well, hidden divergence, whatever you want to call it. So we'll have to wait and see what happens. For Aussie dollar, I'm actually going to keep my eye on, so I'm going to put that purple for me to keep my eye on. Push that to the top. And then the last one would be the Canadian yen. I don't normally trade this, which is why I sort of picked this one out, just to show that it really doesn't matter what pair, what time frame, you can do this exact same thing on everything, on every pair, every time frame. So as you can see, we've got our previous highs looking left. These are our highs, so you always want to really mark out your last previous highs, because normally with a move like this we might actually get a nice double top here, and if we do, it'll be an awesome selling opportunity. The main reason is you normally always get, not always, but normally, more common than not, you get a double top formation or a triple top formation before the big short. So I'll be looking at a short opportunity from there. You can see then we've got this minor area. I call it a minor area because we've only really got a bit of resistance here and a little bit of support. It hasn't been retested too much. We've got resistance here as well and support here, and then obviously we've got our major lows down here. Okay, so what I would do is, if the trade actually does come back up to this structure 18,950, look for a sell here when I've seen the bearish momentum. I would take out maybe half of my profits here, or I'd bring my stop loss to entry and then see if price will keep falling down to a 95 pip move. So a lot of people set their stop loss right away. For me, what I would normally do is actually follow the trade every hour for a little while, sometimes twice an hour, so every 30-minute candle close, and follow it myself. It does take a little bit more time, but it saves you losing out on potential higher profits. If you're in a job, it's very much harder to do this. It's a lot harder to do this. Luckily for me, I'm quite free on time, so I can get my phone out whenever I want to and just quickly check it out and see what's happening. So I would normally point out these areas. I'd write it in my notes on my phone sometimes, say right, 8500 is the area you need to watch. If price is rejecting or struggling to break this area, I'll just say right, take out my profits, or I would move a stop loss, depending on how the trade is actually performing. If it's been moving sideways for a while like this, and I've been in the trade for long periods of time, I don't want to be in trades for long periods of time. I want to get in and out. So as I say, what you need to know is basically your highs and your higher highs, higher lows, your lower highs, lower lows. Need to know what it looks like. Basically, you always need to know your 1, 2, 3 move. That would be the first thing to learn, and then learn how to create your areas of interest. That's what I call them. A lot of people say support and resistance. I like to call them areas of interest, and we'll have to see what happens. As I say, I've got a few different trading styles, and it depends on how I'm feeling for the day, is how I trade. So if I've got a lot of time, I'll normally scalp. If I don't, I'll normally do this sort of trading where I'll draw an area and leave it run. So just so you know, guys, this is how I'm gonna actually. These are the areas I'm looking for on these 5 pairs. Aussie dollar is the only interesting one right now, and as you can see, it's still falling a little bit, so it will be quite nice to see what happens with this trade, just to see if we can get a 30 pip trade out of it now before market close this evening, which shouldn't be a problem for Aussie because it does move quite nicely. I didn't really want to do a video this long, guys, so I do apologize. If you did hang in there till the end, thank you very much for watching. Please like and subscribe, and if you do want any more information from me, just let me know in the comments below what you want me to cover, and I can do that. This is very, very simple trading. You can literally, if you wanted to, if you go back and back test, just literally trading support and resistance. So just trading, okay, an engulfing, sell it. Okay, another engulfing, sell it. Or let me look for a buy. So you've got a buy here, you can say I buy there with my stop loss below the previous structure, and it would have won more or less. You can do that very, very simple. If you back test it and create just a little minor rules, create your rules and back test and see what it is that you guys can do to increase your profitability. My profit rate this year has been quite incredible. I think I'm on about 81% for this year already, which is my best year yet. I haven't actually traded as much time though. I've been taking quite a few days off because of the virus. Back in March, I rarely traded March. I'm not really need the money from trading itself because my business is mainly pay all my bills, so I can dip and dab into it really, but it does give me that extra security and that extra income to enjoy my life a little bit more. So please guys, just go through this video, see what you guys think. If there's any problems, questions or anything like that, please drop me a comment and I'm more than happy to help with whatever you need help with. Okay guys, thank you very much and have a good day.